Hello, my name is Jordan Gibbs. I was on the Script Kiddies team for Cyber Patriot CPXVI Round 1. And here's my incident report for Packet Tracer. So the first thing we did was common configuration. We just set the password to this right here. And we went through every router and switch to do that. All we had to do was go into the command line and put some commands in that allowed us to do that. It's important to have common configuration because, security. I mean, you want a secret password that people don't know about for administrators or big up boss people, you know what I mean? Um, Now, for the external DNS server, that was just told to us. So all we had to do was set that. It's like a librarian who knows where all the books and websites are located, um, and routes in like knows how all the data is routed across your internet. Um, it's important that you guys have this in your company because if not, people won't really be able to access like any website they want. Um, and this is important to your company such as yours because you want people to be able to get to the right website, and they won't be able to do that if they don't have the correct DNS server. And it, if it doesn't have the right IP address, it can have a significant impact on network performance, security, and reliability. Now, IP addresses. This is just going to be me explaining a bit about what IP addresses are. They're like a digital access for a device on the local network or internet. They're like a unique set of numbers that helps other devices find and communicate with that specific device. IP addresses are used to identify and connect devices on the internet, allowing them to receive data to the right places. Now, if you do not have the right IP address, it could disrupt the network connectivity and introduce security vulnerabilities and create performance problems. If you do not have the right IP address and, like, let's say a hacker got into your system because of it, that would be detrimental to your company. Now, a subnet mask address separates like the internet into like two or it separates the network address from the specific device address. So your devices have a specific address, so it separates the network from that device. Um, they route and organize IP addresses within a network, and they help with data transmission and network management. And this is kind of an example of what it looks like. This would be slash 24, um, which is this address. Now, the slash 24, that's kind of just like a simplified version of this. Like, they each correlate to each different address, something like that. So, like, slash 26 might have a different number here, but they kind of look similar. And you do not want to have the incorrect subnet mask address because it could have trouble it can make trouble for devices trying to communicate to each other. And conflicts with the IP addresses, routing errors, security vulnerabilities, inefficient use of addresses, etc. This is just not good for your company. It's just a waste if you don't have the right address. It doesn't hurt you, none. But yeah, the default gateway address is just a special address your computer uses to send data. It's like your home network, or in this case, your company network. Um, yeah, you need it to allow devices on your network, and it helps maintain security, efficient data routing, ensuring smooth network operations. Switches are fundamental networking devices used to connect multiple devices in a local network area, or LAN. such as computers, wireless access points, printers, and servers. They are designed to forward data frames to their intended destination within the network. This is important for a company because it helps the transfer of data across the company. Um, we basically went into each of these switches and set the VLAN, and for this case, we set um, the gigabit Ethernet. Um, and these slashes at the end, that's also the subnet mask address, but just in different form. See, we got the slash 26 slash that, um, and as well as for the VLANs, we also got to set those for that. Um, it's important for a company because it helps transfer data. So all these switches, they help transfer data. Uh, let's say messages, emails, all that good stuff. Um, yeah. So if we go back down here, we also changed the host names. You want to keep it kind of organized. You want to know what campus layer switch 3 or campus switch 3 is and all that other stuff. That's why it's important to have host names. Easy to search for, just makes it organized. Organized companies, pretty good. Now for routers like they're you might understand this term. Routers, they basically just make internet kind of uh, networking devices that connect to different networks and direct data between them. Yeah, um, that's where your inflow of data comes in. They are responsible for making decisions on how to route data from one network to another. So one router goes to another router, and etc. So this router might connect to this router and send data, um, or might decide to route data to here, a whole bunch of other stuff. Um, for when we went into this, we changed the host names for all these routers, and I don't think there was any VLANs that we needed to set, so we just did the gigabit Ethernet. So all we had to do was go into the router, and there's a section in there that allows us to click on there and just copy and paste this. But also we had to find out what the subnet mask for sub mask address for slash 30 slash 23, all that we had to figure that out. Again, host names, they keep your devices organized. You want a good organized device system. Now for configuration, this is just normal configuration. These are just terms that you might not understand. The gigabit Ethernet, which is this thing that I just talked about. For the configuration, the gigabit Ethernet basically sets how fast the information comes in for uh, a company, right? So if you don't have the right like gigabit Ethernet, it's not efficient. Your data is going to be pretty slow coming in, and it only benefits your company to allow this information to come in faster. Um, this is important for a company. I mean, you don't want to have news received late. You know what I mean? Um, and that's why for every router and one switch, I set the correct Ethernet. The one switch was, I believe, this one, Campus Layer 3 Switch 1. Uh, Now, VLAN configuration. VLAN or Virtual Local Area Network, sometimes confused with LAN, but you shouldn't confuse it because you just don't. It's you basically split your company into different groups, like layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. It kind of organized them into different virtual networks. VLANs help improve security by organizing different data types into separate virtual networks. So let's say we had a layer 1 up here, layer 2, and then a layer 3. These are different networks. And let's say if one hacked into layer 1, If a person hacked into layer 1, layer 2 and layer 3 wouldn't be affected. Something that's why it's like important for security. Now the host name configuration, again, it just helps with device identification, network security, and all the other stuff, troubleshooting and improving the user experience. Uh, it it simplifies like administrative tasks and enhances network security by ensuring only authorized devices have access. Um, Now, with the host configuration, your PCs and servers are configured correct. That to make sure your PCs and servers are configured correctly, um, it it makes it have good network connectivity and makes it hard for computers and other devices like printers to connect to each other if they're not configured correctly. It enhances security by implementing access control, encryption, authentication, and security policies that are all on your network. So if I put for the IP address for PC, it would have to follow the rules of your internet, basically. All this information connects to your internet. The PC has to follow all the rules of your internet, basically. Um, if it safeguards sensitive data, so you wouldn't want to breach and have like hackers get like a bunch of data off of your company. And if not correct protected correctly, it may lead to data breaches, unauthorized access, network disruptions, etc. And it really would be detrimental to your company. We then went through your PC, configured all of them as well as your two servers to their respective IP addresses, subnet mask addresses, default gateway, and DNS. And here's the information on what we got below. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 PCs that we configured, all to the right things. And then we got two servers here, and we configured those as well. And I think that's all I have to go over for right now. Thank you for listening, and see you later.